Hey, everybody, we are back again with some interesting real estate information. Once again, we have Mr. Mason Greenblatt.
Hey guys, how are you?
Welcome back to the show. Papa Bear here, aka Robert Greenblatt. So, today, Mason and I want to share with you a few thoughts about homeowners associations, also referred to as HOAs. Got it? So, that's a managed community. Condos have them, townhomes could have them. Single family homes can have homeowners associations. So, we're going to share with you 3 benefits to living in a well managed homeowners association. And there's a couple of operative words there, well managed, because unfortunately, not every homeowners association is well managed. But we're going to give you 3 good things about living in a well managed homeowners association. Mason, what would be the first thing we want to share with everybody today?
Community standard. So, there's a standard set in that neighborhood.
Right. So what kind of standards would a community have, whether it's a condo, townhouse, single family homes, like what? Like, give us an example.
Like maybe like the exterior front door, like it all has to be the same color throughout the entire neighborhood. Maybe the garage doors, same thing. It depends on the neighborhood, but it could be something small like that.
Yeah. So I can give you real life examples. So when you were a little kid and we lived in a townhome community with an HOA, we had noticed that the paint on our front door was like a bluish color, if I remember. It was a little faded, and I wanted to repaint the door to make it look nicer. And in order to do that, I had to reach out to the Homeowners Association. Number one, I couldn't paint the door red or black or purple because that was not what was allowed. But the Homeowners Association had to give me the paint manufacturer and paint code. I think it was a Sherwin-Williams. And here's the paint code for the exact color that they wanted to maintain in that community, right? And I think that, and you live in a townhome now with an HOA, and didn't you have something at some point where there was a little bit of peeling paint on the exterior of your house somewhere, some trim, and they said, hey, when you get a chance, please take care of this?
Yeah. The posts, the beams out front. So same thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same idea, right? So in the case that I had given, it was a more proactive approach. No one had asked us to paint it, but I wanted to paint it, but I had to adhere to the standards that you just talked about. And in your case, there was just normal weather just getting to some of the paint, and it just needed to get handled. So those standards are really important because it keeps a community looking a certain way, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's important. And, within reason, people can adjust. In most cases, you can adjust your landscaping within reason, but you can't just kind of go crazy. You kind of have to ask permission for certain things and certain changes, right? What would be a second reason why an HOA might be good for you?
Number 2, deterring nuisance activity.
A nuisance activity. Well, I don't think any of us want a nuisance activity where we live, right? But like in a townhome community like where you live, what could be a nuisance activity?
It could be junk removal, short-term rental, stuff like that. The junk removal is a huge one. If there's junk out front every day, that's definitely an eyesore.
Yeah. Yep. That could potentially be a ordinance violation for the township as well. But the short-term rentals versus long-term rentals, that's a pretty popular one. There are a lot of neighborhoods that won't allow short-term rentals. In essence, I think they're kind of trying to deter people from Airbnb-ing their property, right? Especially in resort areas. I think that's pretty important, right?
Yeah.
Because if you start doing that, it could take away from the peace and enjoyment of your neighbors if there's constantly people coming in and out and changing, and they don't care or know about the rules, right? So that would definitely be nuisance activity. And what does all this lead to? So that brings us to the third piece of this. Ultimately, if you're in an HOA and it's well managed, what's the third good point about it?
Helping maintain the property value.
Exactly. Helping maintain property values is super important, right? So if it's well managed, and it governed, I guess is a good word. And, the standards, the aesthetic standards of your home, your neighbor's homes, and like you live in a nice neighborhood, it seems really well maintained every time I'm there. So within reason, they are keeping an eye on the homes. And if something is kind of out of line and against the rules and regulations, they make the homeowner aware of it and it has to get adjusted. Uh,
Yeah.
and I would assume, without reading the rules and regulations for your community, they probably don't allow Airbnb, I would guess. And now it could be going on. You may not know about it, but you would know if it was one of your direct neighbors. I think you'd
Yeah.
notice it, right?
Yeah.
And that could potentially take away. Now, again, I don't think in a typical suburban neighborhood, I don't think Airbnb is a big deal, but certainly in neighborhoods that are in resort areas or vacation towns, depending on how that neighborhood evolves, if there's an HOA, they may or may not have rules against how that works. I know some neighborhoods will allow rentals that are 3 months, right? If it's a seasonal aspect, and that's not as intrusive as changing out a tenant every week, right?
Yeah.
Someone who's on vacation. That's a different type of person, different type of business arrangement, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are 3 things, right? So we had maintaining community standards, right? We had deterring nuisance activity. And then we had the third good thing about it, which is kind of a result of a well-managed HOA, is maintaining your values. Because if the community is maintained, and look, as real estate agents, we've been through plenty of communities. You can kind of feel the well-maintained ones versus the not well-maintained ones kind of within a couple of minutes of being there, right?
Noticeable.
Yeah. So those are 3 things, 3 reasons why you might want to be in an HOA. If you guys comment below, we're considering making a video of 3 or more reasons why you may not want to be in an HOA, right? Yeah. Let us know down below in the comments. We appreciate you as always. I think that's a wrap.
That's it.
All right. Please like our video, share our video, and subscribe to our channel if you want to be notified of more great and interesting real estate information, always peppered in with a bunch of stories. Please keep an eye on our channel. Once again, we have Mason Greenblatt right there.
Thanks, guys.
Robert Greenblatt right here. We'll see you again real soon.